Chris Reardon. From the Mirrorball studio in Royal Berkshire. This is Chris Reardon.
Welcome along, it's United Kingdom Talk. Yes, hello boys and girls, welcome to another hour and chat from yours truly, Chris Reardon, on, my God, look at the date, January finished. What happened to that? Can you believe it's an entire month since Christmas? Not that I had any decorations here. Oh, we don't do decorations here. It's just a great waste of time. Bits of paper and tinsel hanging all over the place. Needles all over the floor. I can't understand why people do it, to be honest. Am I being miserable? Am I being an Ebenezer Scrooge? I don't mind. You know, I don't mind whatever you think of me. Just let me know. There's an email address if you ever want to join in. It's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. And I have the most dreadful itchy ear again. Now, this problem does seem to go on and on. If you're regular listeners to the programme... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not picking my ears. I'm just scratching them. But this programme... this programme as well. It just goes on and on. And I've got them here, actually. I was given these eardrops from the doctor a couple of weeks ago, and they did cure the problem. I tell you, if you were listening a couple of weeks ago, you'll know this already. But I had itchy ears, as I have now, right? So I can kind of relieve them like this. I've had this problem for ages. Now, I did go to the doctor, and he said, and the itching kind of goes all the way down there as well, down the side of my, down the side of my neck. From here, it's itching down to there. So it's obviously something within the ear. The doctor says it's swimmer's ear, because I go swimming so often. And he says your ears never really get a chance to dry out. If you're going Monday to Friday swimming, your ears never dry out. So he's given me these eardrops. That was a few weeks ago. Now, not for that. What I had done was it got so itchy, I got a cotton bud and shoved it in my ear and scratched it like that. And of course, for those few seconds, it is a relief from the itching. But it's the worst thing you can do. You mustn't put cotton wool buds in your ears. I mean, God knows why they were invented. As I said before on an earlier show, probably just to clean tape heads. But even I don't have one of those anymore. I don't have a tape machine anymore. So I don't know what you're supposed to use these cotton buds for. But you mustn't put them in your ear. Because what happened, of course, I scratched it. And then my ear became very painful. A couple of days after. I've even got itchy back now. So I'm having I've got an itchy back. I've got a pen to scratch my back with it. Oh, that's better. Oh, I tell you what, you wouldn't mind coming round and scratching my back, would you? Oh, that's lovely. Isn't it nice? And I'll tell you what else is nice. When someone, and I've done this, my main job is I am a club DJ on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. During the week I do other things. Bingay on Monday. There's a website for that, bingay.com. Karaoke on Tuesday. And I do a quiz night on Wednesday. And I enjoy doing those things. But my main job is a DJ. And sometimes, if I'm really lucky, I mean, to be honest, it doesn't happen much now, but sometimes if I'm really lucky and there's someone in there who likes me, right, I might be able, while I mean, this is the ultimate luxury, and I did used to get this quite a lot. Not so much now in my slightly advanced years. Do you remember it is my birthday next week, 5th of February? Yes, I'll be 45. Oh, there's no point. I know what you're thinking. He doesn't look it, innit? Do I sound it? Eh? The people listening on the radio, tell me, do I sound 45? And other people watching on YouTube, do I look 45? What do you mean I look older than that? How rude are you, dear? To be honest, I got it wrong the other day. I offered someone a lift home. No, there wasn't any funny business, and he was quite nice. He was a bit younger than me. He was about 25, 26. I offered him a lift home. My God, I thought it was quite close. He lived in Lewisham, in London, and I lived in King's Cross. Okay, no, sorry, I was working in King's Cross. All right, and I thought Lewisham. Now I'm sure that's quite close to Peckham, which is close to Vauxhall, which isn't too far from King's Cross. So I kind of said yes to him, you know, thinking, oh, might get a bit of a kiss at the end of it or something like that, you know. And I drove for miles. And in the end, instead of me getting home in under an hour, it took me 2.5 hours. And no, I didn't get a kiss on the cheek either. What a liberty, dear. Anyway, so there's a lesson there, isn't there? There's a lesson there. Drive straight home and don't pick up strange men. Oh, it's just the way it goes. You take your risks, didn't you? Never mind. I told my sister, she said, you mustn't take people you don't know home in the car. I said, I wasn't taking him home. I was taking him back to his place and dropping him off. What a liberty, dear. Anyway, you know, I'm not going to count that against him. I won't think that I drove 2.5 hours for nothing, because I didn't. I did it at the kindness of my heart. There was nothing on offer at the other end. The kindness of my heart. Now, where was he? How did I get to that? I was talking about my ears, wasn't I? Of course I was talking about my ears. So, I got swimmer's ears. Putting the cotton wool bud in there and scratching away gave me an inner ear infection. And the pain was unbelievable. You touch, literally, just touch, like ever so gently. I don't know what that bit of the ear's called. It's like that bit in the middle, just over the hole. It doesn't cover the hole. It's like sticking out from the hole, isn't it? What is that called? I don't know. Just by touching that or anywhere near me, the pain literally shot through my head. Anyway, the doctor gave me these eardrops here. What are they called? Gentisone HC eardrops. And to be honest, within a day, the pain stopped. So very good. They're obviously some sort of antibiotic thing. And you're supposed to use them up within, I think, how long is it? 24 days? I think within 24 days of opening, you have to chuck them away. So I might give them another go, because I haven't had them 24... I don't think I've had them 24 days anyway. You don't know, the time passes so quickly, doesn't it? So they're quite good. Anyway, I've got a bit of an itchy ear now, but I'm not going to put a cotton wool bud in that. I learned that lesson. I don't mind it a bit itchy like it is now. You can relieve it by sticking your finger in your lug hole, can't you? And having a little bit of a scrape around. Sometimes, sometimes you do get bits out of it, don't you? Which, I mean, really isn't pleasant at all if people are having dinner. I do hope you're not having dinner while I'm telling you about this, but bits do drop out of your ears. Little bits of wax. I was listening to Dr. Carl. I don't know if anyone listens to Dr. Carl. He's on various radio stations. I listen to his podcast, which is from Australia. Now, what's the name of the station? Triple J. That's it. Triple J. That's it. Triple J. Australia's national youth station. And he was saying, earwax, someone rang in and said, what is earwax for? And he says it's a bit like flypaper. And the idea is the earwax, if there's any dust or anything else flies in there... Oh, is that a horrible thought? If any flies in your ear, the earwax is supposed to trap it like flypaper, and, I don't know, somehow, maybe it's slow-moving and it slowly pushes it out, does it? Don't ask me. So there we are. Sorry about that bit of an itchy ear. Now, I was just telling you about... You know, now and again, if I'm very lucky, it doesn't happen very often, happens an awful lot in my 30s, but, you know, now and again, you get someone to come round who liked you, and while I was DJing, I'd say, you don't mind doing my neck, do you? And I'd have them stand behind me, massaging my neck. Oh, it was a life of luxury. Some people pay hundreds of pounds for masseurs, dear. I had it for free. Isn't it marvellous? And there they are, doing your neck. Oh, that's lovely, that is. In fact, I'm quite... Do you mind if I just have a little session on my own here? Massage. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that is nice. I'll tell you what, if you're any good at the massaging, that'd be quite good. Could you make your way over to Bracknell in Royal Berkshire, where this programme is made? Could you do that? And then I could have you standing behind me, you know, doing my shoulders. Massaging my shoulders while I'm chatting away. Oh, that's the ultimate in luxury, isn't it? If we get a few people who are interested in that, what you could do is form an orderly queue, and I could kind of give you 5 minutes each. I mean, would you be happy to share me like that? I don't mind. The more the merrier. Now, this programme itself is about 57... it's exactly 57 minutes long. So, I mean, if there were sort of 57 people, you could all have a minute each. Is that enough? Or do you want to touch me for longer? Is that what it is? Do you want to touch me for longer? Oh, it's got to be, isn't it? The ultimate in luxury. Having your neck done, massaged nicely, while you're chatting away to a microphone and a little webcam. I bet there's people who've done that. Big international radio stars. What do you reckon? I reckon that's the sort of thing Eric Wiltshire would do. Eric Wiltshire, he runs a big radio station the big radio station in Slovakia, RTI. And I bet there are people in the office at RTI who stand behind Eric's neck and massage it. I like the sound of it. I do like the sound of it. Right, now we're going to move straight on to some emails today. Look at this, right? It's all gone a bit mad. Now, when we were doing 2 shows a week, we got into the situation where there were so many emails coming through that we went to 3 shows a week. Now, in all honesty, I'm now getting enough material through, as well as the bits and pieces that I sort of talk about myself. I like to include your emails. And I don't like to include 1 or 2 emails. I like to include all of them, all the time. And I'm kind of thinking there is now enough material coming in for 4, maybe 5 shows a week. But at the moment, I don't have the time to do it. I mean, I do live a life of chaos, I'm afraid. I mean, if you see this room where I am now, I mean, it's all it's all bits and pieces everywhere. I mean, if I look, yeah, there it is behind me there. Look at this, look. That's dinner. I've got cups and trays. I want one of my lovely old tea towels. Do you remember the old tea towels I told you about? And it's all here. And it all has to be moved downstairs. I really do need to clear this room out a little bit. And here's one of my old tea towels as well. I've had these tea towels for about 15 years. Now, this was white at one point. And it's got a hole in it as well. I can't understand these people. They keep buying new stuff all the time. I just don't believe in it. It may not be quite white. It may be grey, but it still works. It still dries up my bits and pieces when I need them to dry up. Maybe I could use a tea towel as a backdrop. That's what we need, isn't it? We need a backdrop now. What colour? Does it have to be black? I think black's a little bit morbid, don't you? Have a nice deep burgundy one. That's what I need in here now, a backdrop. Let's try it with this white tea towel. No, it doesn't kind of really work with the white tea towel. I've got a Union Jack flag behind me, which you can probably see if you're watching this on YouTube. But, yeah, we need a backdrop as well, don't we? The sound is fine, isn't it? I mean, it's fabulous. Talking away in Radioland and on the podcast. People at the moment, I wonder what people are doing at this moment. Write in and tell me, right, at this particular moment in the show, write in and tell me what you're doing. Okay? There is an email address, and the email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Right? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Right, let's get on to these emails. By the way, there is a postal address as well, which I will give you before the end of the show, if I remember. You know what I'm like? Mind like a sieve, dear. We go from one subject to the other. We never actually finish anything, do we? But that's part of life. Nothing ever finishes until the end, and then it's it. That's it. I intend to carry on broadcasting by webcam and microphone from my coffin for as long as possible. Don't worry. I've no intention of going there and that. I have been booked by radio stations for the next 18,000 years, and I'm going to talk for every single second. Don't worry. The only time I shut up is when I'm in bed asleep, and even then apparently I snore, so I've been told. What a cheek. Some people are never happy, are they? I mean, when you're laying next to a hunk like me, surely you can put up with snoring, can't you? What a cheek. Right, some emails then. Let's go. First of all, got to say hello again to Colette. Hello, Colette, my darling. Of course, excuse me. Oh, we run out of time on the last show, didn't we, to complete this email? So I'll start again. She pointed out I got the postcode wrong, actually, on one of the shows a few weeks ago. When I give out the postal address, I got the postcode wrong, and she's pointing that out. Oh, incidentally, on one of the old, I think it was this show last week, on one of the YouTube videos, I got the date completely wrong on the opening captions. Did anyone spot that? I fixed that now. But I mean, that is a job and a half, right? When you get the date wrong right at the beginning of the video, and it's already been uploaded to YouTube and everything, to change that again, that is. I mean, it's not a nightmare job. It's just very, very time consuming, because you have to reload the entire program back into the computer thing. What I used to make it, change that part of it, and save the whole thing again. Believe it or not, just to change that date took me 2 hours. But I don't like mistakes, and if I ever make mistakes, please point them out. I'm happy to be corrected. You know that I love a bit of correction, don't you? Please feel free to come round and correct me at any time. Now, let's see. Oh yes. Now she was talking about my cold, that bit of a cough I had the other week, and she says menthol crystals. You sit in a bowl of menthol crystals, which you put in a bowl of hot water, place towel over your head, and inhale. So that's what I've got. She said it works cheaper than all those Vicks things, and I know you're as bad as me and save money rather than spend it. Yeah, absolutely. We don't like to spend money. So what would I need? A little. Would it work with a tea towel? I could use this tea towel later and maybe put it over the bowl. I shall use my microphone as an example, and then breathe in like this. What I've done now, boys and girls, is I've put the tea towel on my head and I've draped it over my large microphone, and I'm now breathing. I'm just testing how it went. Yeah. No, it doesn't seem to be working, but then again, I haven't put the menthol crystals in. Oh, do you know what I've done then? I just put this. I look like a nun then. Do I look like a nun like this? Just a minute. Let's try that out. Yes, I do. I look like a nun, a nun, don't I? Hail Mary and all that. Yes. Well, I don't think I could be a nun. I'm not good enough. No, even I know you're thinking, well, what wrong could your little Chris Reardon possibly do? I know, but there are one or two little naughty things I've done in my life. I can't go into them now, but I am just an ordinary person, and I have my human faults that I hope one day will be forgiven. Doubtful, though, isn't it? She says, going on to the tooth fairy bit, see if you look at the tooth fairy bit. Right, listen to this. Now, we were talking about tooth fairies the other week, yes? And how I could be a tooth fairy. Couldn't I? I could have a little fairy costume. And then, when children lose teeth, their parents could book me to arrive at their homes, and in exchange for the tooth, give them some money. Of course, I mean, obviously I wouldn't give you my money to do that. You would have to give me the money in advance, plus a small payment for me to appear in front of your children and take those teeth off and give them money in exchange in a full fairy outfit. Is that a good idea or not? Well, I mean, Santa Claus, he's got a job all year round. I mean, presumably the costume wouldn't be anything like that. Think of top of the Christmas tree, the fairy outfit. I could put one of those on and deliver money in exchange for teeth. Now, actually, I could make even more out of this, because with the teeth, with the little teeth I collect, I could also maybe get some sort of chain, drill holes in the teeth, and make necklaces. I think I need to look into this, you know. Thank you, Colette. Very good, dear. She says, the thing is, if you give kids money, then they spend it on sweets, in which case leads to more teeth falling out and more visits from the tooth fairy. Yes, good idea. So, the more money that me, the tooth fairy, gives the children, the more teeth will fall out, the more teeth I collect, and the more times I go round and collect even more money. My God, I'll have an endless amount of houses. I like the sound of that, Colette. Thank you, Colette, for thinking about my financial bits and pieces. I mean, we all need a bit of money now and again, dear, don't we? Yes. My God, I could end up owning whole cities. Blocks of flats everywhere. Renting them out left, right and centre. I like it. I'm definitely going to have a look for a fairy outfit, I think. eBay. What do you reckon? eBay? Is there fairy outfits on eBay? I do hope so. Good idea. I mean, what else could I do? Tooth fairies. What else do people need people to go around and visit them? You know, the whole birthday thing, dressing up as a gorilla or a nurse or something like that. Not my cup of tea, dear. No, I mean, very ordinary, I'm afraid. We can't be doing that. Tooth fairy. That one hasn't been thought about. Coles goes on to say, it's a vicious circle, yes? You spend the money on the sweets, more teeth fall out, more visits from the tooth fairy. Of course, how many teeth in a human mouth? Because what I could do is have a different rate of payment, couldn't I? And if say you just had a baby, okay, you just had a baby, and it's now starting to grow all its teeth in its mouth, what I could do is come back with a special offer. I don't know how many teeth are in the human head. Say it's 40, right? Say it's 40. I could do sort of pay for 38 visits and get 2 free. Is that a good idea? Of course, you do run the risk that maybe 1 or 2 of the teeth won't fall out. Yes, this is a very good business idea. Thank you, Coles. Thank you, Coles. Like that. Nice to hear from you. Now, oh, you know that red top I was wearing a couple of shows ago? Can you believe I've left it at the Golden Lion, one of the places I work? I don't know if it's going to be there next Monday. Fingers crossed it will be. I like that red top. Apparently red is my colour. Did I ask you what you thought my colour was? Red, blue? My friend Anthony says blue is my colour. Most people think it's red. Right. What colour do you think it is? Do let me know on the email. Chris at... oh, I've just banged my elbow. Did you hear that? Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. That's the email address, all right? Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk.
From the Mirrorball studio in Royal Berkshire, this is Chris Reardon.
I like to play one of those now and again. While that's on, I do have a good sniff. And you don't hear it. Now, look who it is. It's Julian. It's our friend Julian, recently married, Romy, in Argentina. Hello, Julian. He says, hello, Chris. I'm sorry it took so long to write again. I was catching up with your shows. I bought an iPod Nano just to listen to you with style. No. You see, this is where I'm missing out. Now, I've said many times before, I have no interest in being rich. Although, I would like to be okay in later years so that I can carry on doing things like this, okay? If I was a pensioner, perhaps... do you know what? In 20 years, I'll be a pensioner. My God. Where did that time go? I hope to be able to carry on doing things like this, right? So now I'm trying to save up so that in my later years, I won't have to worry about work or anything like that. I can just come here, do things like this, talk to you, my friends. There is an excellent elderly man on YouTube called Geriatric 1927. That's the year he was born. And he does a YouTube video. And it's fantastic. He does, and some of his shows, I was looking at some of his shows, they've had 2.5 million hits. That means one of his shows has been watched 2.5 million times. And what he does is very similar to this show, actually. He sits in a chair and talks about life. And he's fantastic. Just his thoughts on what's going on and that sort of thing. So give him a look, all right, on the YouTube internet. Geriatric 1927. And if you do, send him a little message, then tell him you heard about him from United Kingdom Talk with Chris Reardon, all right? OK, Julian. Yes, he bought an iPod Nano. You see, now, Julian says here, he bought an iPod Nano just to listen to me. This is what I say. I'm missing out here. It's like when I wear certain clothes, you know, I wear certain clothes. I should be paid to wear these things, dear, in front of audiences. What a liberty. And now the iPod Nano, can you not ring them up and say, I actually bought this iPod Nano just to listen to Chris Reardon's United Kingdom Talk? So could you send him £5 or something like that, you know? Julian, I mean, it's only fair, isn't it? I seem to be helping all these companies make money and they're not paying anything out to me. What a liberty, dear. That's what it is, it's a liberty. Julian says, thank you very much for reading our wedding story. We enjoyed it very much and it made us so proud to be mentioned and honoured in your international show. Oh, I love it. I love it. International show, dear. That's all right. We like to hear about people. This show is not just about me. It's about hearing about different people all over the world and what they're doing. All right? And regular emailers like yourself and anyone else who wants to join in. Doesn't matter where you are. You could be in the house next door to where I live or on the other side of the world. I want to know what you're doing. Share with us your stories. That's what this programme's all about, sharing stories, all right? I hope you enjoyed the photos and the story. It was funny you mentioned how late our party ended. Usually, wedding parties in Argentina finish even later, around 6 or 7 in the morning. It's crazy, isn't it? Yes, it is. Yes, it is, because wedding receptions here in the UK, let me tell you, are usually over and done with by midnight. 11 o'clock, some of them. The thing is, wedding begins in the church between 8:30 and 10:30 in the morning. So, I mean, you guys in Argentina, you have a very long wedding day, don't you? After that, people go to the party and end up starting dinner at about midnight. We don't like that, so we did the church at 6 p.m. and started dinner at 9, which is a usual time in Argentina for an evening meal. Yeah, I think, oh, that's much better the way you did that, I would say, wouldn't you? Yeah, I mean, for a wedding to start at like 8:30 in the morning, or 6 in the morning, and to go through till 7 in the morning? That's a long time. That's a long time. No, I think you did the right thing. I mean, when do you sleep? Oh, God. Nintendo Wii. He goes on to talk about Nintendo Wiis here. I first played a Wii when I was in Nottingham last year, because he had a visit here to the UK. Then when I got back, I convinced my friend to buy one. He's got a home theatre with a projector and stuff. Every time we go to his place for dinner, we move the coffee table away and play Wii Sports and other games for a while. It's really great for that. He even has a trivia-like or quiz-like game. It's up to 4 players, each of them with his Wiimotes. Is it Wiimotes? Oh, yeah, Wiimote. Is that what they call the little remote things, Wiimotes? Oh, who thought of that one? That's good, isn't it? This game asks a question, and the first one to rise up with his hand with a remote on it is detected, and he gets to answer the question. Oh, that's clever. 4 possible answers appear, and they have to choose one, like a multiple choice, I guess. If he fails, the remaining players may raise their hands to try and answer. It's really amusing. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I agree on what you pointed out about kids moving around instead of sitting on a couch and pushing buttons when playing video games. I think the Wii is designed for families and reunions. Did you know that after playing for a while, the Wii suggests you take a break? I can't wait to get one. Yeah, me too. Do you know what? I am actually quite interested in the Wii computer games. Now, I'm not a computer game fan. I can't see the point of them. I find them extremely distracting and boring. And to be honest, I don't have the time to play such things. I barely have enough time to watch the telly, which is pretty impossible at the moment because something's gone wrong with the aerial again. I only had that put in last year. I was ripped off last year by an aerial man, and I'm a little bit disappointed with myself for that. The problem is I can actually do wiring things myself. But where the aerial is on the side of the house, it's like the side of the house it has a lean-to on it, right? And then the aerial's here, so I can't get the ladder to go past the lean-to and up to the aerial. So that's why I have to call someone out to do that, unfortunately. What's this bit of paper here? Oh, I've done that, haven't I? Yeah. And that's why I can't get up to do it myself. But at the moment, the picture keeps going all funny when the wind blows, which indicates to me there's a problem up there. So, I don't know. I think I'm just going to have to swallow it and pay someone to come out and do that. I'll get someone different this time. Welcome video podcasts. Julian says, we couldn't stop laughing when you turned on the Dalek. Keep doing the videos. Now that I got a portable MP3 player, you start casting videos. What a cheek. Wait, my iPod plays videos. I need to know how to put YouTube videos on it. Now, I don't know, because I'm not a video person, to be honest. This was really just an experiment. And very quickly, people did say they enjoyed watching as well as listening. So that's why it's carried on. Now, how you put YouTube videos, or indeed any videos on those, what are they called? Those video playing MP3 players, what are they called? iPod, I don't know. You know, the MP, is it an ME4? Oh, I don't know. The portable video players. I honestly don't know how to put YouTube videos or indeed any videos on those. So if anyone knows, could you let us know on the email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, because people don't know how to do that. Can you put YouTube videos onto the little MP3 players with the screens? I don't know what they're called, I'm sorry. If not, what do I have to do for that? And is it going to take much more time? Because I'm fighting for time as it is, to be honest, all right? Julian says, today I've been to the British Embassy in Buenos Aires. I presented my visa application to go to the UK with a work permit. They treated me very well. They took the visa form I had filled in, my passport, Romy's passport, and some other documents. They're sending everything to New York, where they will make a decision. New York? Why is it going to New York? Oh. Is that New York in America? I wonder why it's going there. Oh, well. Julian says, please, Suko, go and tell them to say yes. A little message for you, Suko, there from Julian. All right. I'm supposed to have an answer in 3 or 4 weeks. Romy does not need a permit, because she's got an Italian passport. Of course, that's Europe, isn't it? So if I get the permit, we'll be travelling to the UK in a few months. OK, that's it for now. I'm happy with your New Year's resolution of reading emails a bit earlier. I'm noting down this email's date. Let's see when you read it on air. And he says, just kidding, I know how many emails you now get from Julian in Buenos Aires. Yeah, well, the date of your email is the 22nd of January. So, yeah, you're quite right. Once again, I'm a little bit late with the emails, but I do my best, all right? I do my best, as you know. Do you want the postal address yet? Or shall we wait a bit? Shall we do another couple of emails and then do the postal address? Or do you want that now? I'll read this one. Let me read another one now. Hi to Amanda. Chris, it's Amanda. I hate to bother you, but when I try to register for your forum, it won't let me. Sniff, sniff, she said. I thought things was going so well between the two of us, both with our lovely kitty cats and whatnot. Please, can you help? And she says, thanks from Amanda. Yeah, I'll try and sort that out. In fact, it may be sorted out now. But by the time I've read this email, I'll try and sort that out. OK? Sort this now. By the time you've seen this, it's probably done. All right, so hopefully you can do that now. If you do want to register with the forums, that's very easy to do. Go to the main United Kingdom Talk website. That's unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, and there you'll find links to the forums on the newest shows, including this one. Just go there, and then you should be able to sign up. Okay? If you have any problems at all with the sign-up, do let me know and I'll try and sort it out. If I can't sort it out, Carl or Lee will sort it out for you. But email me in the first instance, okay, and I'll try and sort that. The forums is all about you, really, talking to each other. I go on there very rarely, only through lack of time, really. But now and again I do pop on there. It's really for you to talk to each other and share your experiences, as they do when you send emails to me. Suko's on there, and we've got Anonymous, Carl, lots and lots of people on there waiting for a chinwag just with you, okay? It's Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, the email address. And once again, if you want to go to the forums, go to the main United Kingdom Talk website. That's unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, and you'll see the links there, okay? Hello to Ian. Hello, Ian, who says, just been listening to your latest podcast, and I hear you're now getting into video. But personally, I think you have a better face for radio. What's he mean by that? A better face for radio, dear? What a liberty, dear. Oh, a better face for radio. What do you mean? What do I look like? Do I look like I've got a better face for radio? We can't all be pretty boys, dear. Can't all be pretty boys. Not even me. I was a pretty boy. Oh, it's horrible, isn't it? One day you're a pretty boy, and then you're an old turkey. What can you do? Nothing you can do but carry on, hoping that one day the youth and glamour will come back. Does it ever? I wonder. Anyway, just wanted to talk to you and how I can maybe help you. And he's telling me here in his email that YouTube was actually old school in the States. And now he said to me to check out UStream TV. And I had a look on that, so thanks very much there. And you've given me your Skype address and what have you. He says, love your shows. I fire up my iPod every weekend and like to catch up with all the crazy stories while sitting next to the ocean thinking about friends back home. It's all right for some, isn't it? Hey, keep up the great work, Chris. Make this Geordie guy in Savannah laugh every week. So thank you for that. And the UStream site is another interesting option, and it allows you to stream live. So whereas, of course, watching this YouTube, you know it's not live. The YouTube, the video side of things is not live, okay? You generally will watch that a little bit after it's been on the radio. But nevertheless, to actually do something live is interesting. I don't think I'm ready for that yet. Although it has to be said that the video of this show is done as live, isn't it? I don't stop anywhere. The only time I do anything different really is if I've got a switch over here, which I flick so I can sniff or cough like this, as I've said before. And of course you can't hear me do that. I mean, who wants to hear someone coughing and snorting all the time? Hello to Chris and Jerry, especially Chris, who's having a little bit of a problem with his ears at the moment. So I hope it gets better. I know Jerry is looking after you. Your good wife Jerry is looking after, but he's got a bit of ringing in the ears. Now, you know, it's a funny thing, that ringing, all that tinnitus and all that business, isn't it? It's a funny thing like that. In silence, I can hear it. But it really doesn't bother me too much at all. And when I think of the years, 16, 26, 36, 28 years, I've been blasting loud music in my ear. And yet my hearing is still relatively good. The tinnitus thing, well, in silence, I suppose I do hear it. But it doesn't bother me too much at all. So I've been lucky with that. So I hope you get well, Chris. Probably just have to wait and see how it goes, mate. All right. Hi to Jeffrey. Hello, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I'll read your email in a second. Let me give you the postal address now. You ready? If you want to put pen to paper, it's Chris Reardon, United Kingdom Talk, P.O. Box 4073, Bracknell, Bracknell, RG429ED. All right? So, put at the end United Kingdom if you're outside the UK. Once again, Chris Reardon, United Kingdom talk. I'm going to have to blow my nose in a second. P.O. Box 4073. Bracknell, BRACKNELL. RG429ED, United Kingdom. Right, I'm just going to blow my nose. So I'm just going to cut the mic a minute. Stay there. You know what I think this is? I let my cat in the house today. Oh, bless her heart. And I'm so stuffed up. I've just got some of this Vic stuff. Let me try to... Oh, there's not a lot coming out of that. I think... I can feel it in there. That's the only thing with this. I've got this Vicks Sinex decongestant thing I did have a couple of weeks ago, I think. And the only thing was this, you can feel it in there, but there's nothing coming out. Oh, dear. I don't know. You can't win, can you? Should I try the other side as well? I remember, you've got to be so careful when you got a full bottle of this, because you squeeze it and the whole lot ends up in the back of your head. Oh, isn't it awful? Right, we're ready for another email. Hi to Jeffrey. Now, he actually sent this a couple of weeks ago on the 13th of January. And he says, hello, Chris. I'm finally getting around to writing. I thought I would tell my story. I'm combining a few shows here into one. I was married for the first time in 1975 for 8 years. I lived in Florida near Disney at the time. I moved back to New Jersey, where I was born, many years earlier. I met and married my current wife, friend and the love of my life. Oh, you are lucky. You see, I've met a lot of people in my time. And I've yet to meet really my soulmate, I think. I often think kind of my mum was my soulmate. And since she's gone, it's very difficult. But even when I was with mum, I suppose she was my soulmate. There were other people around, but I didn't get on with anyone as well as I did with her. I don't know what is that. Do we all always find our soulmates? I hope so one day. She is. Oh, look, here's what you go on to say that, funnily enough. She is what people say is my soulmate. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for as well, mate. We've been married now for 20 years, and I love every minute we spend together. You're so lucky. It's a bit like my mum and dad. They were married for years and years, and they were always together. Unless they were working, they were together. I mean, that's so different, isn't it, from what we see on the television now. You know, with these celebrities and people like that. And they just don't look together. The only time they ever seem to come together is for the television pictures and all of that business, isn't it? It's fantastic. Jeffrey goes on to say, there isn't a moment in a day that I don't want to be with her. Is that odd? No, I don't think so. We have 2 sons. One is 30, the other is 35. And we have 1 granddaughter who is 16 years old. You're a very lucky man, Jeffrey, to find your soulmate like that. Very, very... I'm jealous. I am jealous. You know, I don't know how much you've got, material things. I don't want to know. But believe me, if you can tell us that here on United Kingdom Talk, you are richer than the richest pop star. You absolutely are. To find your soulmate and to be telling us that you love every minute you spend together and the moment of the day you don't want to be with her, that is fantastic. And it was the same with my mum and dad. And I think a lot of older people like that. And it's just great. You're very lucky. My job is in electronics. I've been a repair technician for 35 years. I've worked on everything from old tube glass valve amps way back when I started to commercial sound and the new LCD and plasma TVs. For a while, I was working with a friend who had a business and I did the restoration work on the old reel-to-reel tape recording equipment. Fantastic. I used to edit on those things. They were so easy. You had your two reel-to-reel things. You worked, let me see. You worked on the equipment, but whenever I did stuff with sound and things like that, you used to get the tape and you'd have to cut it with a razor blade and stick it back together with special tape, wasn't it? I did do a little bit of editing on cassette tapes. That was hard. That was hard work. That was because the little tapes would curl up, wouldn't they? That's great. He did professional as well as consumer pieces. This I like very much, considering not many people can do or are interested in this. No, I find it interesting. It's fantastic, mate. I mean, there's something very special about working with all this analogue stuff, isn't there? Don't you think? When you're holding two great reels of tape and moving it backwards and forwards, the difference to that, rather than, as this show is, recorded straight onto a hard disk. And all I'm doing is clicking buttons and not touching it. I'm not touching anything, are you? Just clicking buttons, you know, to put a bit of music on. All I have to do is press a button.
From the Mirrorball studio in Royal Berkshire. This is Chris Reardon. Chris Reardon.
See, I mean, where's the difficulty in that? Where was the fun in that? I've got 1,000,001 bits of music on there. All I've got to do is push the same button. It's boring. Boring. Let's see. I was originally schooled as a draftsman architect, but could not find work in that field. You asked what job we would like to have. I saw a show on the Queen's Castle I found really interesting. I think I would like to be the royal timekeeper. I love working with my hands. When I was young, I would take things apart like most kids do. The difference is I would put them back together again. This amazed my parents, but I guess it helped me to do what I had to do. Yes, it probably did amaze your parents, because most kids, including myself, would take things apart. And that was the end of that, really. My nan had this great big old radiogram record player. It was a huge piece of furniture. Like, I mean, you can't see it, but I've got a big desk in front of me. I suppose is 1, 2, 3. It's about 4 foot across. That way, it's 4 foot one way, 1, 2, 2 and 3 foot that way, and it's about 3 foot high. That was the size of my nan's radiogram, and there was a space at the side of it to put your old records, old 78s, some of which I've still got. And once, while it was still plugged in, I always remember climbing in to this record player, taking off the side and removing all the valves. Now, I shouldn't really be here, should I? Because I could have hit any of those live bits in there and would have been electrocuted. So I don't know how I avoided electrocution all these years. But took all the valves out, and of course after that it didn't work anymore. So I took the whole thing up. I took the speaker out and everything. But no, I could never put things back together. I'm not very good at DIY either. Actually, I'm paying my nephew to come down and decorate both the my bedroom and the spare room as well, because what I've decided to do at some point is move the Mirrorball studio into the larger room, because I mean, it's ridiculous. This room is just so small, and it kind of makes sense to me. I really want to decorate this room, but to actually take everything out, decorate it and put it back in again, it would be a lot easier if I decorated the larger room, and of course more space. I would decorate the larger room and then move everything out of here and into there. And that seems... And, of course, you'd only have to move it once. That seems to make sense to me. And then, of course, I would decorate this room. But DIY, no, I can never get things back together. I love hearing about your Christmas, as I think we all did. It's very interesting hearing from all of my fellow Chris fans. Chris fans, that's good. I like it. Chris fans, yeah. It was cool hearing a voice to go with the names we hear every week. Yes, I really enjoyed talking to some of our regular correspondents on the phone. It's fantastic. Fantastic. And so many friends. You know, Suko in New York, of course, has called me a connector, bringing people together, and I like doing that. I do it all the time in clubs. If I see people who fancy each other, I will try and introduce them, making sure, of course, that they're not with someone else. But quite often, as I said before, you see people in clubs who are with people that you think really, that's a bit of a mismatch, you know. So I do try and connect people together. When you hear that person, it gives you a different picture of them. Crazy like what? Yeah. Yeah, I wonder, if you've been a regular listener to the podcast for ages and ages, I know you've seen the photographs of me. Some of you have seen the photographs of me. And indeed, of course, if you're listening to this on the radio, you may have gone to your station's schedule and seen a photograph of me. I wonder, when you saw, if you've watched the YouTube videos as well now, because we've done, about 8 of those now, has that completely changed how you think I looked or acted? Or did you think I looked and acted like this? Is that how you would ask that? Do let me know. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Jeffrey says, I started listening to you about 3 or 4 shows after your very first one, so didn't have that much catching up to do. Really? So you've been with us a couple of years now? Wow. Still love it, by the way. I'm one of those who listen to it in bed. You can help me relax at the end of the day. We get some British comedy shows here, and my dad and I watch them together sometimes. Remember my dad telling you, my dad is from the UK, Warrington. He came here during the 1940s. Yeah, I remember that. My very favourite right now is As Time Goes By with Dame Judi Dench. Isn't she fantastic? We love her. We love Dame Judi Dench. My dad likes Are You Being Served? That's an old one. I don't know if you got the story. You know the camp one in that? John Inman, he recently died. I think it was last year. John Inman, great bloke, great actor. Never met him. He was the camp one in Are You Being Served? He actually died last year, I'm afraid to tell you. I don't know if you knew that. Jeffrey says, I don't know if these shows have the same titles as they did in the UK. Yes, they certainly do. They certainly do. I know what Boxing Day is, but can you explain the history to it? No. No, in a word. Is it? No, it's not when baby Jesus was bought gifts, was it? Boxing Day. I'm afraid I can't. No, anyone else want to do that one for me? Boxing Day. What's Boxing Day all about? Let us know on the email, OK? Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I'm trying to think of all the things I wanted to say, so my thoughts may seem a bit scattered. Don't worry about it. Just write down how you feel. This is not an English test or anything like that, OK? Don't worry too much about spelling, anything like that. As long as I can understand what it says in front of me, don't worry about a thing. Oh, I just broke out in hysterics at your granny annex comments a few podcasts ago. That's what I need, a little granny annex, yeah. Well, I think I've gotten it all down now. I went through all my bits of paper with little notes in them. One last thing, I was born on May the 1st, 1953, so you're 10 years old, so what, you're 54? The year of the Queen's coronation, June the 14th, I think. I wonder if I am the oldest listener. OK, who's the oldest listener? Come on, who's the oldest listener? We've got someone here, May the 1st, 1953. Is anyone older than that? We need to know. I shall keep this. Let me write that down. Oldest listener, oldest listener. If you are older than that, let me know. We need to find the oldest listener, OK? Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Tell me if you are older than May the 1st, 1953. Who's older than that? That's all for now. Have a healthy and prosperous new year. Of course, we're in February next week, aren't we? Or tomorrow even. Your friend in Mahwah, New Jersey, just 15 miles from New York City. P.S. My New Year's resolution is to try and write more often. Thank you, Jeff. Great to hear from you. It's great when someone's been listening for so long. October 5, 6. So that's over 2 years you've been listening, is it? And it's the first time you've wrote a letter. Great. Thank you, Jeff. Much appreciated that. Now, we haven't got much time left. As always, I have emails here waiting that I'm going to have to do on the next show again, I think. Mark, Sheila. We can do Sheila's one. Oh, yeah, Sheila, quickly. We'll do Sheila because that's a little email. Let's see how quickly we do. Dan, just quickly, Dan, heard you read out my email. I did write down all the shows you've recommended. I'll go and have a look. That's like the podcast thing. He said, I've got a question for you. I've always wondered about this, and since you're our DJ, you should know. Frequently, when I go into a club, there's a point where the DJ plays a song that no one dances to. I see this every time I go out, but what really gets me is that the DJ will usually let the song play totally out and follow it with another song that empties the floor. I always figured out if I was a DJ and I played something that was a dance floor dud, I would mix it in with something else in the old standby and go from there. What do you think? Dan, you're right. You are absolutely right. We have to play new music, otherwise the whole thing would stagnate and come to an abrupt halt. So yeah, you have to play new music, and sometimes people don't like the new tunes. But if I've got a very busy dance floor, I put on a new tune and it empties. Well, it never empties completely. That's only ever happened once. I'll have to tell you the story about that one day. But if it empties a bit, then the next song, you're quite right, has to bring them back on again. So, you know, I can't comment on other DJs, I'm not there. But really, that's how I do it. Always follow it up with a hit. I'm going to have to go now. I have still got a few emails to do here. I'll try and get through as many as I can on the next show. Thank you very much for joining me, Chris Reardon, here on United Kingdom Talk. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.